If you've ever needed CDC data, you know what a pain it is to generate for testing. Here I have up to 20 rows that's being shown in a Postgres table. They're going to have 3 different columns. It's going to have an ID, an email address, and a last known IP. And note that this data is changing. The number of rows is shrinking and the last known IP address is changing. And so it's actually giving me really great CDC data to use for any kind of application processing that I need. How does this work? How do I hold these 2 rows constant and vary the last known IP address and eventually kind of bleed off all the rows so that I have nothing? It's actually a pretty simple ShadowTraffic file to power this. Here I have a single generator that writes data to a Postgres table called users. I fork the data 20 different ways over 250 milliseconds staggering. That's why I have those 20 different rows. And then I have my 3 columns that we saw here. I have an immutable IP address, an immutable email address set with vars once, and then I vary the last known IP address on every iteration. And the heart that actually powers all this is a state machine. Here I have 3 different states. I have insert, update, and delete. And I just use waiting to make sure that we do an insert once, and then mostly we do an update after that, and sometimes a delete. And then when we go to the update, mostly we do even more updates, and then sometimes we delete. And eventually they all converge on deleting and do nothing more. And then I see in my states, I just set the opt to be either insert, update, and delete, which is exactly what it corresponds to for Postgres under the hood. And then I do each update once every 1,000 milliseconds. And that's how I get this really nice variation that works very, very well with CDC data and makes it easy to test with Debezium.